Hello and welcome to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. My name's Andrew,
And this is D.
and we are kicking off our very special Beverly Hills Cop season right now. We have got Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Beverly Hills Cop, the TV pilot, and is it Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, or is it Axel F Beverly Hills Cop?
It's Beverly Hills Cop Axel F,
Okay.
aka Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yes. Somebody in some marketing department has an excuse for that. First Beverly Hills Cop is 1984. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Ronnie Cox, Lisa. Shit, which Lisa is it? It's Elbacher, right?
Walker, yeah.
Bronson Pinchot. Some other cameos we shall see. Martin co-written and directed by Martin Bryst, who at this point had only done Going in Style, which was a old men do a heist with, I think, George Burns and maybe Don Amici. I've seen it once. They remade it and it didn't go well or something. But Bryst would go on to Midnight Run, Scent of a Woman, Meet Joe Black, and Gigli would be his
Ish.
last film, starring the Afflecks, Bennifer. And he sort of fell off the map with that. I don't think he's had anything since then. I don't know. We could check. We didn't check. But basically, what Beverly Hills Cop did was it established the action comedy, more like the action
Mm-hmm.
movie with comedy elements. Though 48
Yeah.
Hours was an action movie with Eddie Murphy bits throughout. Like, this was not as much of a revolution as, I guess, Ebert's review was like, I didn't know what I was watching. Was I watching a comedy? Was I watching an action movie? Bruckheimer, right? It's Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's Don, because
Don
Don was
and
still alive. Don
Jerry.
and
Yeah.
Jerry.
This
And
was
so
their big one.
this was their big breakout. This was the sensation. It sort of set it kind of Eddie. Well, he
Yeah.
was very
Eddie
busy in the
Murphy.
80s when we think about it. If this is 84, he was very busy in the 80s. I bet he had a movie a year, if not two in a couple of years.
Almost.
Because he had
Practically.
Best Defense. Wasn't Best Defense 84 too?
It was either 83 or 84.
But yeah, so when Eddie started, he was sort of as a sidekick, and this proved he could run a movie
Yeah.
himself. And we will undoubtedly talk about some of the things, but Eddie was not really given a great area to succeed in the 80s for some reason. And it was very constrained, even though this movie sort of set the tone for everything. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was the
Star
whole
Trek
genre.
4 wouldn't be a sci-fi comedy if it weren't for Beverly Hills Cop. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
because they wanted to get Eddie to be in it. Like, they wanted to cross over franchises. So, Crocodile Dundee, this actually, I guess, is Paramount's bit for the 80s, was the action comedy. So,
Yeah,
all
till
right.
Touchstone kind of tried to steal their thunder.
Touchstone, and then, like, Hollywood Pictures trying to do it a little bit cheaper, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the same time. Jim Belushi. Okay, sadly, folks, the reason we have Jim Belushi's film career is probably because of Eddie Murphy. They were like, we need a white Eddie
Yeah, we need
Murphy.
a
And they
white
were
Eddie
like,
Murphy.
Jim
And
Belushi?
a lot of early I heard this recently, a lot of early Whoopi Goldberg movies were stuff that Eddie passed up or stuff that was passed to Eddie, and then they just kind of refigured it for Whoopi.
Okay.
Jumpin' Jack Flash, all of those.
And this, we'll talk about it, but this was originally intended as a Stallone vehicle, which we can
Mm-hmm.
discuss. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play.
Paramount.
Golf and Western. Paramount, the company that will soon be no more.
Mm.
It'll be Skydance Paramount.
Oh,
Come on.
Eddie Murphy Productions.
Hmm. Well, Lauren Michaels is somewhere like that should be my name.
Uh-oh.
So
Detroit. We make cars. This intro was cloned later on for Action Jackson. They might even use some of the same clips because that takes place in Detroit too.
so if you've been watching the credits, you've been seeing a lot of familiar names, most of whom
Mm-hmm.
showed up for Axel F, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discuss continuity later. It was,
Altermeyer.
yep, it was Faltermeyer, and then we had our, what do you call it? It's Michael Jackson outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Surtees. So we're gonna have a lovely looking film. Oh, so it is just Daniel Petrie. Bryce didn't do it. So Danilo Bach's version is the one that attracted Mr. Sylvester Stallone, who was
Mm.
sure this would be perfect for him, and they didn't want to go with his vision, which would then become Cobra.
How are either of those guys not Joey Pants?
Right?
So here's Eddie just doing his thing.
So Trading Places was 83. So
Yep.
he had done 48 Hours, Trading Places, and this was his is the only name above the title.
Yeah. He was also, I think they said, one of the last studio contracted actors
Okay.
from the old days, which is why most of his stuff throughout the 80s up till maybe the early 90s was Paramount.
Yeah. It was Paramount until oh, look at our cop car back here.
Hmm.
So what we're I mean, it's just
Mm.
it's just so patient. It's just like
It is a build up. I
I
like
just
that.
wish, yeah, I wish Eddie, I mean, Eddie really never um
They said they let him ad lib a lot too.
yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Um so yeah, until like oh god, Boomerang was Paramount
90.
though.
Yeah.
But
I
then
think
like
his he did Distinguished Gentleman
uh,
was
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was he was at Disney, right? Because Metro was Disney. Um, Pluto Nash was Disney, wasn't it?
I think
Um,
so.
yeah.
But
So
the Nutty Professor and Clumps, that was Universal.
okay, and that was sort of
And Dr.
his,
Doolittle might have been too.
and those were sort of like he really only had because I mean Nutty Professor One is like what 96 or 97.
Mm-hmm. 96, I think.
So yeah, he was another one of these guys who his he'd be written off as a has-been for not having a hit in
Right.
6 months.
Yeah.
And like what was I mean, Boomerang was considered a big comeback. Um
And it was supposed to be the start of a different Eddie, but that was when people were just like, no, he has to be Axel Foley and everything. You know,
yeah.
and his steady paycheck is nowadays is, I guess, Shrek.
That's right. He did the voice in Shrek. Oh, I forget about
Yeah.
that too. So he's had franchises and
Mm-hmm.
but the things he was that made him a star initially, he didn't come back to those until the late 2010s.
Because it started with like, we'll talk about it when we get there, but it really starts with Beverly Hills Cop 3. And you could see the disappointment on his face throughout the whole movie. Like, I'm just going through the motions. He went through that period of, this is what y'all want.
Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop 3 being such a that we could do our research in a few weeks and check and see where Distinguished Gentleman came out in relation to that.
That
Because,
came out
like,
around Boomerang, I think. Like, Boomerang might have been 92. Distinguished Gentleman was probably 92, 93. And he was trying to, you know, with Boomerang, he was trying to switch it up. Distinguished Gentleman was him still being kind of a, you know, this time around he was going to be the suave huckster.
yeah, that was sort of Eddie in his 30s.
Hmm. He wanted to be grown up Eddie.
I mean, there are very few people who would have had the kind of career he would have had by the age of 30. He's 22 in this.
Yeah.
He was 21 in 48 hours. Like when you think about Golden Child, it makes sense that a 25-year-old would make that choice, right? Like,
Right. That shit. Because even then, I was like, what is this?
but I mean, he didn't really. Harlem Nights was sort of the first time he really got to acknowledge his age
Oh,
in a way. Like,
here we go.
yep.
Ill Hill.
Jeffrey, you should say something. Jeffrey, say something.
Chief called Deputy Chief. Ah, Dearborn hijack. Jeffrey, this is not your fault.
Oh God, he's so great.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, he's so good.
That just because there's always the angry captain, but
Mhm.
that sounded real. You know, it didn't sound like,
Wasn't that his story though? Wasn't he like a fucking Detroit cop? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
but he sounded more authentic than what's his name, the one in 48 Hours.
Oh yeah. What was that one?
I think that was Frank McRae because he was like the loud black captain till this,
Yes.
and they kept having him even in the parody movies.
Okay, so here's our first Harold Faltermeyer at length. So Axel F, which would become
Hmm.
an 80s anthem.
Yeah, they probably played this almost as much as Herbie Hancock's Rocket. It even made it into cartoons. Like,
Like it was at school events. Like,
yeah, yeah. They would play that marching bands with.
the most likable James Russo's ever been in his life.
Right? Because from here on out, he's gunman number three.
Hmm. It barely looks like him too because of the hair. Like,
Yeah, the hair. And he's not in a cheap suit. He's almost like, who's the guy? Gosh. He's a
oh
Passenger
fuck,
57.
not Ju.
Um,
That was Julian Sands, wasn't
no, no, no. He wasn't the bad guy. He was
it?
like
Okay.
Wesley's sidekick. What's his name? They kind of became interchangeable.
Tom Sizemore?
Sizemore, yeah.
Okay.
So we're establishing Eddie and Mikey Tandino here. We're buddies back in the day. And you gotta guess Eddie might have been playing older.
Oh yeah, Eddie's playing
His Axel
28,
gotta be, yeah, 28 to 30.
which raises this whole thing we can as we'll never be doing the Lethal Weapon movies, we can discuss that Eddie Murphy and Danny Glover, arguably the most popular crossover black male stars of the 80s, both
Mm,
were playing 10 years older at least than their age because
yeah.
Danny was playing 45 or something in Lethal Weapon 1 when he was like 35, and then
But
they
he was supposed
dropped
to be
that
50 in that, right?
the second one or the third one. By the third one, he's supposed to be like
60.
55. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the fourth one, they just like forget that that was a thing. Like,
because he clearly had worked out for that
yeah.
and he looked way younger. Like, four is probably the youngest he looked throughout the whole series.
I don't even think they put the gray in for that. They just let him be natural because he sort of caught up to. Yeah, I mean, it's very weird. But same thing with Eddie here is that like in 48 hours he was 20 playing probably 25. Here, these are his old
Hmm.
high school chums from the late 70s or something. Like,
Yeah, and they're clearly 30.
yeah.
Like a hard 29, 30.
Are they actually? James Russo's like 12. Like James Russo was 31. Jesus, he looks terrible. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Well, he's 70. He's 70. Looks good for 70. I take it back. Steven Berkoff looks terrible. Steven Berkoff is a year older than us. Oh God, Ronnie Cox is our age. This is going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot. John
Oh yeah.
Ashton's younger than we are. Holy shit. Okay.
Wow.
Lisa Elbacher is 28 years old in this, and Mr. Jonathan Banks is 37, playing 45, which is his life. Okay, at
Yeah.
least Gil Hill was 53. But
Well, that was a
Paul
good
Reiser's
break.
27. Okay, so you got to figure Axel's
Oh,
about 27.
okay, because they mentioned they're the same age in four.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
It's so weird seeing the two of these guys together now because you'd think they would just mold together into jelly like a time cop, like I'm the one who's gonna make it. You didn't. I'm gonna have a show.
Now those two ended up playing foot soldiers and toy soldiers.
Oh God, are they both in it together? We should do toy soldiers. We should do
Banks
toy
another
soldiers.
guy. Yeah, toy soldiers was
Let's do we'll
Lou
do
Gossett.
either a Lou Gossett season. We've been talking about it, but
Yeah.
like we'll throw it together. We'll do toy soldiers, maybe Punisher, something
Oh hell.
good. Toy Soldiers isn't
Iron Eagle.
bad. And Punisher, we'll do Iron Eagle. We'll do that next. That sounds fun. Okay. So I gotta look up Bruce Surtees. Is he actually the Jaws guy, or was there another Surtees? Can't keep any of this shit straight. It couldn't have been. It was it? Holy shit. No. I'll start making sense in a second, folks. I promise.
I go to the hospital.
No, but he was a big 70s uh cinematographer. Okay, so he did a bunch of Clint Eastwood 70s stuff,
Mm.
Night Moves, Lead Belly, The Shootist. So he worked with all these guys. And then, yeah, oh God, he did White Dog, Risky Business, which is why this looks like fucking Joey Pants should show up at any moment.
He would just
So,
be in this somewhere. I'm
mhm.
shocked. Just like um 48 hours. I'm kind of surprised he's not in that. One of the cops or something.
Did he maybe never work at Paramount? Like, trying to
Well,
think.
wait a minute. No, it was Risky Business Paramount?
Yeah. Risky
No?
Business is Warner.
Warner? Oh,
It was
okay, maybe
actually
it
Geffen Company. Okay, here we go. Do not go to LA, Axel.
is. um, um, um.
So this also sort of kicked off the 80s soundtrack,
Yes.
which basically meant you had more than one original single, is what
Mhm.
um
They really tried to, like, The more I watch this, the more I realize how much they replicated a lot of this shit for Fletch.
Yep.
And I
Well,
think
Fletch was
Siskel
the
and Ebert
next
pointed that out
year.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
Fletch
Wasn't
was the
Fletch
next
the
year,
next year? Yeah.
and this is heavily influenced it. You just can't
Well,
really
right,
picture
because Fletch is
Chevy
more
as action guy.
no. And that's the thing is Fletch is it leans more on comedy than it leans on the action, where this is going to be very balanced to the point that the second one is fuck nugget Tony Scott, so it's like a full action movie.
Mm-hmm. Chevy's not gonna be jumping over no cars.
No, God no.
Uh-oh, here we go. Wow. 40 years later, they actually found her.
That is kind of the thing, and I mean, I feel like this somebody should have taken a lesson from Star Trek, the movies, because they had people come back for the movies and it was like a nice return.
Mm,
Whereas when you do a sequel that's only set, you're making it 6 or 7 years later, having somebody come back, there were things like it would just seem desperate for other franchises, especially in the 90s. Like, it's taken a long time for everybody to figure out how to do a franchise without it
mm,
flaring up. Though, what am I talking about? That's what Fast and the Furious does, and those do just fine. So
yeah.
maybe I should shut up. What do
They
I know?
they brought back Hector.
Well, you got to bring back Hector.
They could do the exact same shit he did in the first movie.
Somebody was asking me
Poor
about
guy.
those and was like, how many more are there going to be? And I was like, well, I mean, they got at least three more, right?
I think they're gonna concede after the next one.
Well, no, because they're going to do the Rock one.
Oh,
Remember, Rock gets his own. He
oh,
imagine having to kiss the fucking knee for or kiss the ring, kiss Vin Diesel's ring. The Rock had to kiss Vin Diesel's ring after Black Adam. Like that's got to be humiliating.
yeah, because he thought for sure Black Adam was gonna take off. Yeah, the DC movie universe is gonna hinge on Black Adam. I'm gonna appear in all the movies. Oh, here we go.
Yep. Welcome everyone. This kicked off something else in the 80s. Mr. Bronson Pinchot. Doesn't he come back for the third one?
Yeah,
And it's like really fucking desperate. Yeah.
yeah. The third one is where he's just here. He's pretty subtle. I'm hungry for a part. I'm gonna make this
Yeah.
work. By three, it's post uh
Perfect strangers
Perfect
and
Strangers and all of that. So
what you don't
sure, he came
understand
on set like a diva.
don't understand, folks, is when the Iron Curtain fell, it really ruined so much potential for projects for Hollywood. And
Wow. I see you look at this piece.
Well, it helped. I mean, this is what I mean, I guess it's not like people at least watch Midnight Run now. It like did not get much attention for many a year. But like the,
Mm,
deliberate timing is sort of just lost at this point. It's weird
yeah.
that who knew deliberate timing was going to be something that we only got in old movies like
All right, we got your Lisa Albacher here, the forgotten piece of Beverly Hills Cop.
yep, never to even be mentioned again.
No,
Yeah.
no pictures, no. Hey, I was gonna visit my friend, but I'm out here and
She just
something else.
vanishes, yeah. Which actually, despite them having a platonic relationship, puts her in line with most other love interests from a franchise picture in that
Mm,
they fucking disappear
right,
for
because
the
at least
second
she
one.
didn't get killed off or some shit.
Right. Like
Although she's
recast.
kind of replaced in part two, because what you call it, the captain's daughter
Oh, that's right.
kind of
She
plays
also does not come back for
right.
the
That's
franchise.
pretty.
Isn't
Nope.
her name Jenny too? Hold on.
No, she's Jan.
Eh, she did not act for very long.
Mm-mm. I think the only other thing I remember her from is Quantum Leap.
Yep, she did a Quantum Leap. She did a Miami Vice,
Mm,
a Young Riders, and then, my God, whatever this is, I want to find it.
mm,
The year is 1750. Europe is in a ravaged state following a plague. Young gamblers. One of them, well, sadly not. It's Polish. Philip
yeah.
Seymour Hoffman's in it at the age 26. It's from 1994. I want to see that movie. Okay. Here is villain Steven Berkoff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just blue steel here. Just he's the original. I don't give a fuck villain. He came on my turf with this bullshit. He said, "Watch what I do, Mister Faraday." And
Was he in The Shining or something? No, that's somebody
he was
else
in
who was in
Rambo.
He was in Rambo?
He was in Rambo the year after this. He played.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah.
I forget the titling conventions. Um,
Oh. So this really, to me, is a scene where Axel kind of learns where how the rules,
mm,
how they run shit in Beverly Hills. The stunt man with the wig.
yep, that was a bit of a wig. Okay, so Burkoff was a Bond villain or henchman. He was in Outland. He was in Barry Lyndon. He was in Clockwork Orange.
Wow.
And yeah,
I have no desire to see that again.
All right. So, um, obviously, folks, Beverly Hills Cop franchise deserves an examination as propaganda. We will probably not be doing that very often, but just acknowledge that. Infantilizing the Beverly Hills Police Department is what's necessary to make it a amiable setting and
They
ignoring very real problems.
said they cast those two guys because they looked alike. They wanted the, you know, Beverly Hills
Yeah,
Cop police to look.
just like big blonde.
Yeah, they're not going
Yeah,
to be United Colors of Benetton.
nope.
It's Detroit. Although there is another black cop in here, it's just he seems to be the only one.
We can track that as it goes. I don't remember in 4 or 3.
Mm-mm.
So here we
Like
see
war
the
games.
command center out of War Games here. So they're high tech versus Detroit.
All right.
All right, here we go. John Ashton, 10 years our junior here. God.
Yeesh. No.
Yep.
What?
Shouldn't be smoking cigarettes, John Ashton.
He's not 30 something.
He's 36 years old in this, I think. Hold on, I'm looking.
See? Didn't I tell you
36 years old.
we're aging like Legionnaires now?
This is why
There's
you
no
don't
way.
smoke in public places, okay, folks?
Somebody
You
said they thought I was 32 the other day. So
you want to fucking look like John Ashton when you're 36, you smoke cigarettes, everybody. Otherwise, you knock that shit off.
how old was Judge Reinhold?
Like
What is he,
28.
26?
Judge
Huh.
Reinhold is 27.
Hmm.
And how old is Ronnie Cox? 46 years old.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn.
I'm going into my Dick Jones phase, apparently. That's what I have to look forward to.
Right.
Look at
What?
all that hair he's got. Bastard.
Yeah, but still, that
Smoking. Don't be smoking.
back in the
Smoking.
day, we looked at him. He was the granddad kind
Yep.
of.
Ronnie Cox is like,
Yeah.
okay, so here's the major propaganda of the idea that, oh, and here's
Oh yeah.
Eddie establishing that he's not going to rat out.
Yeah. It's just
So
type of scrap
cool.
he gets into back
Yep.
home.
Uh, okay. I mean, I don't know if Ronnie Cox actually looked this bad on the VHS copy. Like,
Well, he's got a lot of makeup on.
yeah, but you can also see what they're trying to cover, and it's just like,
The suits kill me though.
oh yeah.
Suits with the businessman suit with the vest,
Mm-hmm.
the old taxman suit.
Oh, Ronnie Cox has on 3 layers. Eddie's got on 2 layers. Everybody's got on at least 2 layers,
Yeah.
possibly 3 for the suit guys. Even like if he's got an undershirt on, he's got 4 layers on. That's a lot. It's a lot going on.
We're gonna take your ass out of Beverly Hills. Don't ever
God,
come
they
back.
should have done a spinoff with him and Gil Hill. I don't fucking care.
Oh shit! He has to come to Detroit and shit, and then Gil's got to come out there. Gil's got to run their department.
Hmm. They
Hey, the
like
road.
they like go to a captain's retreat or some shit, and they like draw lots for who you're gonna do the switch with, the wife swap with. That could have been a fucking show. I'm sorry, Paramount, you wanted to launch a new network? Gil Hill in Beverly Hills Cop, co-starring Ronnie Cox and Detroit PD. Okay, so I can't really think of many other movies that have this era of 80s fashion.
Yeah, this is
Like,
this is like 84 actually is pretty much the start of what people remember of the 80s. Because from
mhm,
80 to 83, it's very 70s wash off, you know?
yeah.
It's
Oh God, look at that
a
shot.
lot of browns.
Bruce Surtees. Sorry, folks. We watched The Fog a couple weeks ago, and they didn't. The remake didn't know how to shoot a car scene, and the first one didn't have the money for one. But
Look at that. Yeah.
just yep.
Gosh, Lisa Albacher, what the
Hmm.
hell, man?
Hollywood did not have. Hollywood did not like women they couldn't make anorexic. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like she never got shit, right? Like, did
No,
she
she's
ever
the
even
only
get
one out of
a
this that didn't take off.
did she even get like a fucking did she even have like a lead romantic comedy ever? Like,
I don't think so. You know who probably kind of got in her way though? Now that I think about it, because they could have put her right in her part. Kim Cattrall.
mm, ooh, that
I
much
can see her
comedy?
playing Jenny
That would have
Summers.
been really good, actually. Kim could listen to our mannequin one, folks. We have some choice words for the folks who did not let Kim Cattrall be a comedian. Okay, so she was
Hmm.
in An Officer and a Gentleman. Still have not seen that.
No,
No, I
oh,
can't.
really good.
Okay. So after this, she tried Deadly Deception. Oh, Matt Salinger lead, co-starring.
I think the biggest one she did after this was Leviathan, and that was way in '89 or '88.
She was a regular on season 3 of Midnight Caller.
Huh.
Midnight Caller, the Gary Cole show that was, um,
Oh, right,
yeah,
the talk radio
the
one.
talk radio one. Um, okay, so then she was in something called Deadly Intent in 88. Live Wire. She like retired in 95. She did not want to hack it, like, because it
Tapped
was
out. Yeah,
she's fucking started in the 70s. Like, I hope that she was on, let's not forget. This is her second appearance. Her first appearance on the pod was fucking um Spider-Man. She was in a
oh,
bunch
that's right.
of the Nancy Drew Hardy Boys.
Oh yeah, she was in the first season of that, I think,
Yeah,
and
man,
then
she
they
fucking started when she
merged
was
the show. Oh,
oh
here we
dude,
go.
there we go. Um she was
Damon
on a
Wayne.
she was on a Brady Bunch at age 12. Like, I'm
Wow.
sure, yeah, that was not a great time to come up and not make it.
Yeah, that was a
Like,
whole stretch for her,
yeah,
especially if she didn't really hit the late '70s, early '80s.
yeah,
Because then you don't really have a choice by the '90s. You're either mom or
yeah,
or you're in erotic thrillers.
yeah. Yeah. So basically, what we've learned um, from our revisiting of the past was if you worked at Miramax and you were a woman, you probably got out because of very traumatic incidents. And before that, you had to take off your clothes. And if you didn't
Yeah.
want to do that, and have the boys of Caddyshack make fun of you while you were topless,
Mm,
Cindy Thomas tapped out because they were so shitty to her. So yeah, she was basically somebody who should have been a regular on a sitcom in the 70s and wasn't, kind of thing. Like she should have been on
right.
Fame or something, and she just
Thing
kept
is,
it going.
a lot of those shows recycle the same actors.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I was looking back at how many shows Penny Marshall was in before
right.
Laverne and Shirley hit. It's
I mean,
crazy.
she was on a show, she was on My Three Sons when she was 3 to 4, according to this thing. So it's like she was a
Oh
fucking
wow.
showbiz kid, which means she was probably in commercials and shit. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So
She's
like,
fantastic support. And I mean, like, that
yeah,
background explains it because, like, she's waiting for the lead to do shit. Like, that's what you learned on TV. And then she gets a moment every
yeah,
once in a while because this isn't a fucking shitty sitcom.
right.
All right.
I don't even think it looked this good when it was in a theater.
Now, I mean, this is, yeah, a 4K restoration. Fuck no. Like, we've talked about it before, just that Paramount was the pioneer of the pan and scan, basically. We didn't watch, we haven't watched The Untouchables for the podcast, but if you want to see how you directed a movie for pan and scan, go watch The Untouchables. Just the framing is dead center or dead right or left. This didn't get much of a pan and scan, but Paramount was really good about. I guess the second one will be interesting because it was Tony Scott, but it's just the framing is somewhat TV conscious
Hmm.
because by this point, 84, they knew home video was a market. They knew that TV was a market, HBO was a market. This had a life after the theater.
Yeah, especially because this was in the midst of Murphy Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just coming off of Saturday Night Live.
And these were enormous video hits.
Yeah.
Like 48 hours, Trading Places especially. Like
It was,
these were just giant hits.
yeah.
And the problem was in the fucking 80s and 90s, and I don't know if I don't watch movies or stuff this way anymore, so I don't know if it's a problem for the youth these days, but like if a new Dan Aykroyd movie's coming out and it looks shitty, but you want to do something, you rent 48 hours that night. You instead have a night in and it's a big deal. Like you have people over for that to watch 48 hours because isn't it amazing? Because they're going to swear and you're going to see the boobies. Like, speaking of boobies, we're going to have our requisite strip club scene here in a second.
Oh, but
I'm
that's
so
after all
glad
this.
they didn't do that in Axel F. I'm so fucking glad they didn't do that in Axel F.
I like that they mention it though.
Yeah,
Did he take you to the strip club? Well, he did something similar, but you know,
yeah.
They allude to it.
This looks so fucking good. Oh,
Yeah. All the 80s where they didn't put barbed wire on everything.
yeah. Oh, got
There's
Eddie
no
to do that
cameras.
jump. Paramount's always been willing to let its leading men do high stunts like jumping down from a fence or Tom Cruise paragliding from space or whatever. Though he has to pay his own insurance now, I
Mm,
guess. Well, because who the fuck's those are Skydance finance move? It's so weird.
yeah, because a lot of that goes into the budget.
So fucking weird now. This fucking dude. See, back in this era, this guy probably could have turned this into like a supporting turn on something, right? Like
Well,
you see these people.
if he wasn't a brick, he's kind of a.
Well, no, but he could even do commercials or something. Like it
It's
was
the other
very,
guy that's funny though. When they get into the office,
yeah, but I
or
think
no,
that guy's somebody, isn't he?
yeah, he's a yeah.
How was Judge Reinhold 27 years old in this? Like, okay, so he did Fast Times a couple years earlier, so he was very old for that too.
Yeah, he always looked old at Fast Times. I mean, he looked mid-20s at Fast Times. He's supposed to be what, 17?
He was supposed to be the older one, yeah, but
Him and the dude that played Damone, I think, was supposed to be younger. Just the temerity of Axel that he could,
it's the speed. I mean, that's the thing
that's
is
so,
Eddie Murphy can
oh,
do the speed, right? Like that's the thing is
yeah.
it's always been about the speed. The problem has been you don't always have something to match what that speed is. And even for Axel, even for sequels, like doing a legacy sequel to it establishes that, you've got um he can still keep that going.
Hmm.
But it's just like if you look at that, yeah, that dude, look at that. That's Baldy there. I can say that, folks. The guy's got more hair than I do. Baldy there, he was like a regular on some show sometime.
He looks like Dirt Blocker. I wonder if that's Dirt Blocker. Hurry up, quicker.
Okay, so one of the two Beverly Hills Cop has a glamour photo on his profile, so he clearly has been trying to make this work for him. I there's a whole credits for the guys in the office with them. Um, the guy that we recognized is Mike Newski, who
Oh,
has been on things like he's still working now. He's been in a bunch of it looks like Clint Eastwood movies, bunch of TV. Yeah, he was on Frank Landau on The Good Wife. Came back for The Good Fight. So he's just a guy who's around.
And still, Taggart's being hostile.
Mhm. All right. Welcome to 1984, folks.
And wait, I would say 48 hours more than this, but
Yeah.
they had to have a strip club scene in almost every one of
Uh-huh.
these movies.
So fun. And I mean, there's
Yeah.
one in
Mm.
two, too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
Ah, light beers for the fellas.
See, you couldn't even do Beverly Hills
No.
Cop now.
No.
I realized the same shit when I was watching Tootsie the other night.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that now. Uh, it ain't gonna hit the same.
No. Oh, shit. Stick Up Man number two there looks familiar.
Do, 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 oot, eat, oot, oot. They look like they walked off the set of Terminator.
Was this in on the soundtrack? I can't remember.
No, they left out a couple of songs. Well, there were two versions of the soundtrack issued, and one version has a Rick James song.
Oh, wow.
The other one doesn't.
Okay, so our stick up men are played by Paul Drake and Tom Everett. Tom Everett would go on to Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, among other films, and he's still working today. The other guy is Paul Drake, who is still alive. He was in he was one of the creeps in Sudden Impact, one of the Dirty Harry movies. So that's why he looks familiar. And he was also on an episode of The A Team.
God, who wasn't on the A Team or Knight Rider? See,
Mm-hmm.
man, those shows kept a lot of people busy.
Yeah, they did.
Riptide. Set a spell. Oh. Oh, whoa.
Billy to the rescue.
Way to go,
And
Rosewood.
if you're wondering why we have a mixed audience in the strip club, it's because in the movies, folks, they're also great restaurants. That can be the only explanation.
I did go to one in Texas, though.
Was it a good restaurant?
Uh, the steak was good, yeah.
Okay. I think the sad truth is it's not hard to make a good steak at some level.
Right. Right. Especially when you got eh,
Man,
Rubber Tupper just jiggling in front of you.
okay. Look at
Yeah,
John Ashton's skin. That did not know what skincare was back then, did they?
this bit was off the top. Ashton is laughing. He's trying to.
Yep, you can tell. This scene would probably get repeated in, I mean, I don't know. It would be in episodes of Saved by the Bell by some time. Like,
And Mark Paul Gosselaar is
yep.
no Eddie Murphy.
No, though it is a shock. He did not try to get in on this. Though I will say, for a Canadian personality,
Hmm?
isn't he Canadian?
Mm, half Indonesian, but I don't think he's from Canada. So here's the moment
He's
he
from
kind of.
Los Angeles, California. Holy
Yeah.
shit. No idea. Okay.
Axel actually turns it around with them,
Yeah.
but Bogomil has to do his job and send in the subs.
Mhm.
This brother with the domesticated pro.
Okay, so this dude, the waiter dude,
Hmm.
you could see him getting a supporting bit in a sitcom from this. Like
Right.
the while there was a hard no for movie stars doing TV, like for a unnamed supporting player going
Hmm.
to like being in a hit
Yeah,
could
he'd be the
definitely,
sidekick.
yeah.
Yeah, why didn't he edge out Willie Ames for Charles in Charge?
Oh shit.
Charles.
We will get another assault on a Beverly Hills mansion in the fourth one, probably in the second one.
Mm,
Like, no? Okay.
can't. Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay. Um, it's not quite a trope, but I mean, didn't Commando have it. Like,
Yeah, Commando definitely.
yeah, like
He went to an island to just get to the mansion and shoot the place up.
there's a lot less lifestyles of the rich and famous shit now than there used to be. I mean,
Yeah,
I
movies
don't
have gotten.
actually watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so I don't know. I guess that would be the
It
thing,
got
but
cheaper looking. Oh, look, a DeLorean.
oh shit, it is just on the street.
This
Um,
takes place in the Back to the Future universe.
it does. This is when Marty was in LA to buy some tickets to the show that they go to before they become rock stars in that universe.
Oh,
Stunt drivers.
well, Chevy Nova's not too shitty. Like,
No.
hmm,
Also getting to have fun with the action hero is sort of a
right.
thing because they until this time they weren't they were all hard asses, right? Like you could be a sullen hard ass by this time, but like
Because even around here was when people were starting to say, "Oh yeah, Roger Moore is a fucking clown
yeah.
with the stunts and shit."
Um
The Hero Club.
yeah, I feel like
Yeah. Wow.
84 this Terminator, like 84 really did set the tone for the 80s. 82 was like the year where there were
82
like
was kind of like
startups. Like,
82 was what felt to me like a sci-fi jump off.
mhm.
They
Like
weren't
if
doing too many regular guys.
well, I mean, 48 hours was 82.
Yeah, 48
So
hours was 82, but that was kind of a like,
that was a sleeper compared
yeah,
to
that wasn't
well,
one of those
the
we
thing is
need to make
though,
this a hit.
right. 82 is the year where things either didn't happen or they did, right? Like the thing didn't happen, so we've
Thing,
got an
Blade Runner,
entirely different John Carpenter universe, right? Blade Runner didn't happen. Like,
and a lot of that is because fuck it, ET just
yeah, I
you couldn't
mean,
get past ET
you
in
couldn't get
82,
past ET. Like,
82, 83. What the re-release was 85, and you know it didn't lose the title till 93. So it's just,
yeah,
uh,
it's a juggernaut of just
yeah.
what if you could just keep making money on the same thing
Hmm.
that you like, you didn't have to keep making them, you didn't have to do spin-offs.
Oh wait,
Yep.
watch this. Watch Eddie's stunt, man. How he turn into Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor with like a thyroid condition too. Like Jonathan Banks, what did I say? 31 years old here or something? No, he's
Oh,
37, I think. Shit, I don't know. I think he's 37 because I made the 37 born 45 joke.
there you go.
37, okay. So he's actually older. by 1 year than John Ashton. So,
Mm, wow.
yeah. In the second film, we will see that the evil foreign guy is played by Jürgen Prochnow.
Who could have easily been swapped out in this?
Yeah, except he
They
hadn't given
both
up
played
yet.
that guy for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, but he still thought he had a chance at being
Yeah,
wasn't he didn't he try to
he
do
was
a
Das Boot,
he
wasn't
did Das Boot, but I think his first time coming over was like as a romantic,
he? Oh,
tortured romantic lead, which never actually worked out for anybody. Liam Neeson tried it, like
Rishnikov, right? Didn't
Barishnikov. Did he do one?
White Knights wasn't that?
Nah, White
That was
Knights is
something
a
else.
yeah, it's a buddy dancing
Yeah, but
espionage.
I think he did do something. You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Witness is technically a one of those. It's
yeah.
just that he's the star and the female lead isn't Meryl Streep. Like, yeah, basically it's who made a career out of playing backup to Meryl Streep, which could have been a thing in the 70s. Okay. So we got 37 minutes left. Jenny's got to get kidnapped and be the damsel in distress, and we have to have our big action sequence. So, see, this is the thing that I was kind of talking about earlier that Eddie, even when he was willing to do Oscar bait,
Mm,
he wasn't like, it's not like he Adam Sandlered it and found a P.T. Anderson or something or whoever those other guys are.
no,
He
right.
just tried doing it on the level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I still need to see Dolomite, but
Oh
we've
yeah,
never
that was a
really
good one.
gotten Eddie taking the time to do an acting movie. Everybody usually does at least one if they're a big star.
Well, Mr. Church, but
Is it? Okay.
you got to sit through it.
Isn't that a feel good eventually? Isn't that inspirational?
Eh.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
you got to watch it.
Okay.
It's you know, if you can remember Beaches,
Oh, okay.
it's one of those. It's like a sideways version of Beaches. That's the man. That's him.
So this guy is not wearing a bald cap.
Ruined the buffet. Rosemont. He literally looks enraged too.
Harrow Club. God, look at that fucking lighting. Oh, Bruce Surtees. Okay.
He has to do it by the book.
That's right. He gets thrown out of town.
Hmm. You know, piss off the rich.
So that's what's going to be interesting about the second one is that he also has to get into a position where he's going to get thrown out of town, except he's had a yearly fishing trip with his good best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Get to it, Billy.
Oh. Mhm.
Okay, so here's we're gonna kidnap Jenny, who's smoking at work in a fancy art gallery, which means it must stink in there.
1984. Just like how the Ghostbusters were just smoking everywhere.
Oh, God. Okay, so I don't know what we could really watch about smoking for this, but like the classy ashtray, like as long as your ashtray was classy enough, smoking was okay. Like it was just so weird. It was such a weird time. Oh,
Right, because they used to have a whole ashtray section, like a couple of shelves.
and then for a while, ashtray. Did they become like incense burner type
Right,
things?
then
Or
they became incense burners.
yeah. Oh, this is kind of hilarious because it just says that people want scent around and they don't actually care. They can't smell because it's cigarette smoke or if it's something delightful like a full parade. God, so weird. It's just
I used to have a real cool
restaurants.
incense burner. I don't know what the
Ah,
fuck happened to it. Like a dragon's tomb. And then smoke would come out the sides.
mm, that's cool. Um, what was that? Was it like TJ Maxx just had like rows of ashtrays and shit? Like, I don't know. People ate bologna all the time. Mozzarella cheese was probably American cheese without the coloring. Like that suit was super uncomfortable. Hell, that t-shirt was probably uncomfortable.
Mm.
Oh, why would you trust Billy to do this?
Well, that's the either that's them saying, "Hey, we know Billy's gonna fuck this up, and maybe we'll bust this guy," or he'll just do what he's supposed to do and not fuck up. That's basically what it is. Well, made a whole career out of that.
Mhm.
Surge. Yeah, she really is a piece of the puzzle that's kind of missing in the sequels.
Mhm.
I mean, it's written that she's not essential, but
There's something to the balance of it because you can't. It took us 7 or 8 years to realize it, but you can't actually give Judge Reinhold too much. Is basically what we learned. We tried too hard with Judge Reinhold,
and I
and we
can't
burned him
remember
out.
who said it, either Siskel or Ebert, but they said there's he just can't believe in the friendship that got so close between these guys.
Oh yeah, for the second one, yeah, yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, well,
Like I could believe him and Billy, maybe Taggart by extension, but Bogomil, I guess, I don't know.
yeah.
He really was that charming.
When a man fishes with another man.
Oh,
Okay, so we've found the drugs. Another trope from the 80s and God, 90s is going to be whether or not they actually find the drugs in their search. So, and when did that start from? Was that God, that's from the French Connection, I think. Like that's like got they got 30 years out of that. Like
hmm. Look at the Teamsters back there.
the guy in the sunglasses, also in the yeah, so this is not your cool heavy era. This is your um
Yeah, I'm a bad guy and I have thugs.
yeah, it's your no different than the bad guy on Auto Man, really. The suits are better.
Yeah,
Like, but it's, you know,
these are my easily disposable ruffians.
who do not speak because they are not union members.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. He's a creep. Okay, so the lighting in the scene's so good.
mm,
I think it's just been so long since I've gotten to watch a Bruce Surtees movie. Then who shot Jaws? Does he have a brother?
mm.
No, Jaws was shot by Bill Butler. Totally, totally different human being. Who also went on to shoot Funny Money, starring. Wow, this is just depressing. Funny Money, starring Chevy Chase. Also shot um, Rocky Four, The
Huh.
Sting Two, Stripes, Nights the Lights Went Out in Georgia, Grease, Capricorn One. Weird. Why did I think it was somebody else? Who shot Jaws 2? Michael C. Butler, who shot Megaforce and Smoking the Bandit 2.
Mm.
Interesting stuff. Okay. So here's Jonathan Banks. Um,
About to get his shots in. He slaps him.
uh-huh.
Damn. So we're gonna beat your ass first instead of just putting a bullet in you like your boy.
Uh
They never learn.
oh, what's Billy gonna do? So Billy's also gonna have one of the big character twists for I think the second one, right? Like that's when we find out Billy's secrets.
I think this emboldened him to be a little more.
Okay.
He probably was kind of a
This guy's
closeted gun
familiar,
nut.
right? I mean, that is truly the thing, though. He is just a, despite being lovable, the fact is he
Mhm.
is a gun fetishist. Tune in next week for more on that, folks. Okay, so
Phew, phew, phew. Yeah, I always
yeah,
shoot
that
my
is
eyes closed.
somebody that
Yeah,
that
that
bad
guy. He's
guy. Yeah.
the other thug in Toy Soldiers.
Okay. Oh,
He gets
that's
to
who
play
you
the
were
head
talking
thug
about.
in that one.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about
No, not Russo.
okay. Now I remember Toy Soldiers better.
Yeah. Mm,
I like how with all this technology they can't track his car.
no.
Oh wait, is that what they're doing right now? Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Figure it out, detectives. Now suddenly they're cooperative, those
Yeah,
guys. Like
because he's the boss.
they're not dicks like the two guys in fucking running scared.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. You'd never be able to get into a gate like that now.
no,
Unless you have some shutdown technology.
all right, and here it is.
Let me
John
go get them a
Ashton's not an asshole after all.
tactically inappropriate gun right now.
Mhm. Just the absurdest thing to bring with. Yeah.
It's too quiet around here.
Is that Lee Horsley? That's what I think Lee Horsley looks like.
Oh, it's on the ground.
Patrick Stewart's not the villain in three, is he?
No, three is John Saxon is in three,
Hector
and
Alonso's in three.
can't remember. I know the face, but I can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
actual. It was a nothing nobody villain.
Okay. It'll be a surprise for us.
I remember the character Ellis DeWalt was the name, but the actor, you know,
This, of course, would be a trope too.
yeah.
Because basically, like you take something like Magnum PI, the A Team, all sorts of other stuff. Having a villain who's in a big mansion gives you a location that, like, it's the American equivalent of like big houses in England. Like,
hmm
you just rent out your mansion to fucking film at.
Yeah, the big action sequence in a mansion.
Shit, Spider-Man practically had one the show. Like,
hmm Bad Boys had one.
mhm.
Okay, this was the big clap break in the theater. Yeah.
Does he ever
Oh
get the
shit.
fucking shotgun? Like,
Yeah.
okay, Billy's got it.
No.
That guy's like, you don't get to talk. And he's like, I'm gonna make a face, though. If Richard
Take that.
Belzer can make it, I can make it.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. Cover your face, John Ashton stuntman. Cover your whole bald head.
Oh. Yeah, it was these movies that just made shooting disposable henchmen
Oh yeah.
look cool.
I mean,
Because again, before this 48 hours, it's just Gans and Billy Bear
yeah.
one after. So
And
you
this
have your shootout,
is,
right?
I mean, you'd have this in Lethal Weapon 2. Like,
hmm This definitely became the big finale staple,
mhm,
except in Fletch, which I will say,
yes, Fletch scaled it
yeah, as much
differently.
as it emulated this, there was no.
I don't know, how long did it take before Chevy did a role where he had a gun? Would be my thing.
I don't think did he ever?
Didn't he do it? Has he ever played cops and
I don't think he's
robbers since he
played.
wasn't the cop?
No, he wasn't the cop.
Yeah,
I don't think he ever did this
no,
specifically.
no, yeah,
It's too much. Too much.
too much work.
Yeah, too
Think he's
much
gonna
running
run?
and
You think he's gonna run around like that? Yeah, that's a good point. What was I saying?
like even Bill Murray didn't.
No, too much running around. They should do a.
He thanks God for Ghostbusters because he might have had to end up doing one
Mhm.
of these.
They they should do. This is when this at this point. This is when people thought Judge Reinhold might be able to carry something, but
hmm what he followed this shit up with was just well, Ruthless People was 86, right?
Ruthless People was 86,
Okay,
and
so that
like
was kind of his comeback to an
yeah,
extent because the ones he did between, I think one of them was Head Office.
Head Office, that was a disaster. Like
Yeah.
so one difference between for the most part, like there's some shit where they're clearly trying to false advertise in the trailer, but like in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 80s, you could have a movie where all the fucking competent moments were in the trailer.
hmm
And I feel like that's probably what happened with Head Office. Like,
I just remember it being super flat. Like
yeah,
it, it was a movie that was trying to be funny, but really wasn't.
yeah. Because I mean, that's like the other thing is the like
Oh,
shit in the
car
80s
carnage.
didn't age well very quickly. Like some stuff, like
Yeah.
some stuff would come out and it would be a decent flash in the pan, and then
Yeah, about a year later.
yeah,
Oh,
damn, got all the
let it
squibs out.
ugh,
I never can figure out where that staircase is supposed to be.
no. It just looked cool with him rolling down.
Yeah, yep, and that's where Billy turns. Okay,
That was a badass. Super cop.
because yeah, I mean they are really set up as their
Hmm.
okay. So here's where we have our callback.
Mm. Is that right?
Oh, what I was going to say earlier is Billy, Axel, and Jenny are set up as the heroes, right? Like for your
Hmm.
spinoff or for your sequel. And this one,
Yeah.
but it's like that's not in between Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson started snorting a lot more cocaine, and they had some other ideas. The implication of this is that the chief of the Beverly Hills Police Department is wants to cover up a giant cocaine ring. Everyone, just in case you're wondering what the implications of this are. And the only reason that these other cops are going to stand up to the corruption is that the black cop just happens to be very likable too. Like,
Hmm. It basically did they fucking job for him and
right.
shit.
Like, what the hell are Billy and Taggart supposed to be doing the rest of the time? Like, it doesn't seem like they need them for anything.
Mm-mm. Well, that was kind of the joke was that Beverly Hills was squeaky clean.
Mm,
Something like this couldn't possibly happen in Beverly Hills, as opposed to Detroit. I
right.
guess it was supposed to be broad, you know. That's why they're so ill-equipped that their society people could never be bad people.
Mm,
This is like not corrupt, I guess, where cops are bought off.
right. Was this always the ending, or
Mm-mm. I would like to see an extended version though, if one exists,
yeah, it'd be very interesting just to see.
because I don't know if any,
I
alternate.
mean, yeah, the TV version's just going to be dubbed and
It's not 45 minutes like RoboCop.
right.
I remember us squeezed the whole commercial-less TV viewing of RoboCop before school one day.
Uh,
Well, here we go. I
Is this the first Eddie paws out?
think so.
Okay.
Because, yeah, at the end of 48 hours, they drive off.
Yeah.
That's what's missing from this. Where's the bus boys? Surprised they don't have a song on the soundtrack because they were hot. Where's the boys are back?
Right. Oh, now we have
They
our
just they
red
did one
on
for Ghostbusters. Huh.
ugh, the red on black credits, of course, would it be complicated on video? Can't remember.
On video, there's a lot of bleed after a while.
Yeah. A lot of stunt people. Oh, are we wrapping up that quick? No
No,
way. No. Okay.
Paramount does that. They always put
Okay.
their, for some reason, they put their thing.
They're like, hey, stick around. Uh, yeah, we've actually, well, we're pretty paced out here, so only doing 3 minute credits, so they mustn't have very many because they don't have any CGI to worry about back then.
No, you got to see that wall of words.
We should have a significant soundtrack credit though.
Yeah, yeah. This is when, like you say, the soundtrack kind of there was that synergy of the soundtrack plus the movie.
And I mean, I can't remember the second one, but like the whole mix of
Oh,
mm,
if this one is like 80s, part two is 80s turned to 11. Like, especially because of Tony Scott and just, yeah. And because it's definitely Eddie Murphy knowing he's a fucking movie star.
right. Pointer Sisters, Patti LaBelle.
Junior. Patti LaBelle again.
Yep. I mean, I think that those were
Vanity.
singles. Maybe
Yeah,
that
those were
was
all
on.
singles.
Yeah.
And Nasty Girl was kind of, it was a couple years older than this, I think.
Yeah.
Because
There's our
Vanity had left Vanity
soundtrack.
Six.
Fucking 80s, man. Okay, here we got all of those artists that we didn't really pay much attention to, but they get credit. Hmm.
Do, 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 do.
Right. You think you're the only Beverly Hills Cop in the world, Eddie Murphy? What if you came back and fought Brigitte Nielsen? Wouldn't that be a choice?
That's a Paramount picture.
All right. Oh, such a delightful movie. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's always, I don't know who picked out that thing though. I think that's the most recent cover of the Blu-ray,
oh, yeah.
which is really weird.
It is amazing how we went from it's like we went through the looking glass on Blu-ray covers to just like remember when it
Well,
was like a big deal when people were upset when the cover was shit? Like
right, because this thing of it is they're doing this shit to iconic movies that
mhm.
you know
I mean, the Supermans are some of the worst, but like the
Yeah.
Batmans are pretty bad. Like, it's just at some point that entire subsection that was going to care about that just stopped caring or something. Because, well, now people, I mean, I don't know if we've talked about bitched about steel books in a while on the pod, but like, if you're gonna, the custom art, should be
All
better than
right.
something you can get off some fucking 14-year-old's Tumblr or whatever. Like, just saying, just saying. And we haven't even gotten to when they start using AI to do them. That's going to be a delight. So
Oh God.
yeah, especially with Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop has a very iconic poster to the point that I think you could even argue that it set a tone that running scared in downtown
Yeah.
would emulate. Still haven't seen Downtown. So there you go.
Oh wow, downtown. Man, I
You know,
haven't seen that in a while either.
you know. All right. So yes, Beverly Hills Cop, 84, giant video hit, probably giant cable hit. I
Yeah, because that
mean,
was when Showtime had exclusive rights to Paramount
that's
for a
right.
long time,
Yeah.
and it
So
was very long before any. I think honestly, Beverly Hills Cop 3 probably premiered on HBO before the first two,
because they
because
were desperate
yeah,
to get somebody to give them some money for Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yeah. Um, all right.
yeah, it was a good movie. It's still a classic.
Yeah.
Trendsetter, of course, because there's a lot of similar films, a lot of straight up knockoffs.
Yeah.
Like to this day, they still try to recapture the Beverly Hills Cop formula. Some are good, and then
Some are
some
not.
are, Rush Hour or some shit,
Oh,
or anything where Mike Epps is the sidekick. We'll leave you with that, kids.
all right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Good evening.
Axel Foley, a Detroit cop with style, takes the streets with a wink and a smile. A high-speed chase, no rules to play. The city's in chaos, but that's his way. A friend returns with bonds in hand, but danger's lurking, it's close at hand. Beverly Hills chase on the streets so wild. A rogue detective, a devilish smile through the lights and glam. He's breaking the case in the Beverly Hills chase. Mikey's gone, taken by the night. Axel's on a mission, he's ready to fight. He heads out west in search of a clue to a place where the rich have more than a view. Maitland's Empire Galleries veil. Axel's breaking and he won't fail. Beverly Hills chase on the streets so wild. A rogue detective, a devilish smile through the lights and glam. He's breaking the case in the Beverly Hills chase. Mikey's gone, taken by the night. Axel's on a mission, he's ready to fight. He heads out west in search of a clue to a place where the rich have more than a view. From coffee grounds to drugs in crates, Axel knows how the story's made. With Billy and Taggart by his side, they'll take down the villains and break their pride. At the country club, they try to shut him down, but Axel won't